Good evening, folks. Welcome to News for You, tonight's podcast. I'm in my new location. I do apologise for the Facebook viewers and LinkedIn. I've got poor lighting and a technical problem, and this is as much lighting as I could get. But I want to talk to you about pensions and mental health because I think it's an important conversation. And just thanks for tuning in. So I do hope you can at least hear me. Okay. So I upgraded my location. I'm no longer in my bedroom on my bed. So this will be the new location. But I hope to have better lighting tomorrow and be slightly a bit more organized. So tonight, what inspired me to talk about pensions and mental health was I read today on an article in the Iron newspaper about how Jeremy Hunt um, is trying to shape our pension pot. And I think last night, Steve, is there much hope that we're all going to have a decent pension? And for some of you across the world that might be tuning into this, there's different rules, there's different systems around the world that we have pension. But tonight I'm going to focus on the UK pension pot. I am by no means in pensions, but I just want to get the conversation going. I thought it'd be something different. So pension pots, are we all? I'm going to try to answer one question at a time. I've given you a kind of itinerary on Facebook and LinkedIn and thereabouts. And TikTok community, you have to bear with me. You've got the slideshow here, so I'm going to try to direct. I've got two cameras here. Feels kind of strange, but good. And yeah, do give me a like if you like this show. I'm going to try to develop a little bit more better as I get more funding, hopefully in the near future, better equipment and my own studio. That would be nice, wouldn't it? A better broadcast and yeah. So anyway, I'm going to answer this one question. Pension pots, are we all going to get a decent pension? Now, like I said, tonight I was reading this article and it says there's 50 million pension pots in the UK. It was a shock, really, because I feel that's 50 million time bombs going to go off. If you look at the global economy at the moment, and I know that, with supply chain management, there's a lot of businesses that are not just struggling, but worried about geopolitical risk. For those of you who don't know what is, this is good education for you. Basically, it is the risk you assess to your global supply chain management. Okay, it's a very loose definition, but there are many, and some of the world's biggest brands that some of the CEOs might watch this podcast tonight. I don't know. Having independent research, scratching their heads to try to work out safer ways to do business. Now, the problem we have at the moment, sadly, is we have a risk of the global supply chain where we've got things kicking off in Gaza, particularly with, dare I say, the T word, groups, okay, chain. So praise the US Navy and the British Army and all armed forces across the world that are protecting their way of life, because the supply chain that we have affects everybody. It affects food supply, and there's already food poverty, in this world. So it's a very, very delicate. What we're going through now, what I see, and somebody else did this as well on another, a much bigger podcast than mine, is we're going into the war era. Okay, you've got two wars in Europe. People are dying in, Ukraine on a daily basis. As in Gaza, the world is getting darker, as they say. And I often say that to people, and it saddens my heart, but I do what I can to bring you some real news, answer some questions on this podcast. I can't always bring in the best news because that's the world at the moment. But I will, towards you, give you some nice, some good news about how to start your own childcare business in brief. A very simple framework that I've designed. Got inspiration again from reading the Iron newspaper, which is a UK newspaper. So pensions. I mean, I just don't feel that. I can't remember the David Lewis show. I think it is in the UK. He's done an amazing job in trying to steer the pensions, and it confuses quite a lot out of me, to be honest with you. And I put my faith in God. I'm a born again Christian. I put my faith in Jesus, and I'm not preaching it, but at the same time, when I look at the world today, what's what's going to happen, is because you look at climate change, there's so many worrying things, but we all need money, right? And we need money to pay the bills. We need a future. And I just think there's a positive and a negative, more negative at the moment, sadly, with all the news. There's a negative correlation, okay, and your pension pot. Because you're sitting at home, maybe, some of you might watch this instead of EastEnders, I hope, to think to yourself, you know what, I'm worried about my pension. And I'm not one of those people, not because I'm rich or a millionaire or anything like that. It's because it comes first. I do kind of worry about money, but not to an everyday crisis. But I know that you work hard all your life and you want something and you want to settle down and you want to have maybe, what is retirement? Playing golf on a Sunday, for instance, and doing leisure activities. I don't know what retirement Generation Z that are watching this on TikTok, my community, big TikTok community, you might not be thinking about pension, but it is something you might need to think about. So I would say that, to try to answer this question, not from from everything that the world is going on at the moment, I think we might get a fair pension. And that is thanks to, I think it's Dave Lewis or John Lewis, I can't remember his name, his show, but he's doing an amazing job. But it's really, I think investment is you plant a seed and you want it to grow. I do think because of the supply chain management risk and geopolitical risk and all the things we've got risk in our way of life in terms of world conflicts, cyber crime, or cyber warfare, as they call it, there is a lot of risk to our pension pots because they get invested into the market, or most of them, so to increase the pot to protect the money. Now, I don't live my life for money. I don't really want wealth and desire many things. I'm a very simple man. I own one tracksuit, by the way, one working microphone. And okay, that's not to say that I don't want things. Of course I want things. I want stability. I want stability for a lot of people. But it's hard, isn't it? Because sometimes you think, oh, are you starting your pension planning a little bit late or too early? But I think it's good to plan for the future. But sometimes we can overplan, and that does affect our mental health. For some of you that are watching this now, it might be age 19, 18, 17, 24, Generation Z. I think it's good to plan for the future. And if you've got a really good job or a career or a business that's thriving, and you're paying your bills, fantastic for the future, because it's important, isn't it? So I haven't really got much more to say on the subject. I do think with good planning, you'll get there with your pension pot. I say a pension pot, it's only in the UK, you'll get, I think it's about up to £200 per week. Retirement age keeps going up. We're living longer, but the world is getting darker. Pretty much like my background, I do apologize about my lighting. TikTokers, you're blessed because you've got better lighting, but I couldn't get it working on this side, Facebookers and LinkedIn. But anyway, moving on to my next question for tonight. Every day I post a lot of content around mental fitness and mental health because that's my subject expertise. I live with a difficult condition called non-epileptic attack disorder, and I had literally 2 seizures last year. I'm doing better, by the way. My mental fitness feels good. I'm into a better routine. I wake up every single day. I'm thankful for everything I've got to the Lord, and I think I'm definitely moving forward in life, and it feels good up here. So, our UK businesses in particular, and my question is this: how are UK businesses leveraging up on their mental fitness for their employees? Now, I'm not talking about mental health because that's a broader subject. Mental fitness is a better key framework, I believe, and it basically all it is in your health, in your mind, okay? And there are so many different ways that we can improve our mental fitness. I'm not going to talk long on this subject because I know you can find me across social media or on YouTube or whatever channel you prefer to watch your content from. Tap in Stephen Fahey and you'll find some information. But I just think it's important to understand that 2024 is an important year to get attuned to, because I know a lot of psychologists and professors are saying that, and it is true, when we've talked a lot about mental health, and it's gotten to the stage where it's affecting mental health because we've diagnosed it as a term and we're not being really specific about it. But we need to talk about it because we're after COVID, where sadly many people died and still dying, sadly. We don't get taught how to look after our mental fitness in schools, education, university. It's getting, I think UK businesses in particular need to do a bit better. I don't know whether the government's responsible to collaborate, because they're overwhelmed in the NHS. We're all suffering pain. You know, we're living in an age where more stress than ever. Okay, articles online on this, but I do think that we need to, as business owners, certainly when I get things going in my company, Healthy Secrets, which is a health and fitness brand, by the way, that I'll be investing in my mental fitness for my staff, my colleagues, and myself, because how can you teach other people to look after their mental your own? You know, it's like somebody who works in a bank. You've got to look after your own finances before you look after somebody else's. And I think that's so important. So, moving on to a more exciting subject, I want to have a brief conversation. I don't know why I put this on tonight's show. Female football. I think female football is really hotting up. I've not looked at any data, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't done a lot of research on this, but what I've seen so far is quite truly amazing. I'm so glad, and I think that, you know, my question to you, the audience, is where do you think it's going? It's, you know, I think it needs more investment. I think, you know, female football's the league itself here in the UK is taken off extremely well. It's been going for years, by the way. I'm not sure when it started to blossom, but certainly female England World Cup done an amazing job. So I think it's good encouragement for females sport. I think it's really good. I think it's good for women equality. And really, I suppose I just want to champion it a little bit and just say, you know, keep going. And, you know, I'm sure there's going to be better deals for players to get more pay, because I don't think it's nowhere in the same league as the men Premiership on that front. But anyway, so that's what I've got to say on women's football. Just keep going. I'm hoping to, you know, support it as much as I can. Maybe in the future I'll support a club or a team even. That'd be nice. But anyway, I'm moving on. Moving on to my next subject. I'm going to keep tonight's show nice and short because I won't get into detail about the ums and ahs of me planning this show. But tonight I had a few hiccups, as you do, and it is tough when you start your own brand and your business and you've got limited resources. But I've got a half decent background, but sometimes you've got to go with the flow. But anyway, I want to talk in brief about how to start my final subject tonight is how to start a childcare business. So for those of you who are on TikTok, this is a really great opportunity for you to understand and write down some notes about how to start a childcare business. Now, it's not because I've done a childcare business, okay? It's because I was reading again a great article tonight from a lady that was a teacher and has now grown a successful childcare business. And I thought, how do I go into this conversation? Because I've not done it myself, but what I have done is a framework around how you can basically start any business, okay, on any platform. All you got to do is follow my 3 key steps and it'll get you started, okay? When I was a teacher for 5 years, or before that, when I was studying business, I was blessed with university, fantastic university. And it was some years ago, by the way, 2010, I think it was. So over 10 years, easy. But I was taught how to build frameworks. And, you know, in life, as you go through to learn to become an entrepreneur, somebody that wants to make a difference in this world, or even a father, mother, sister, we all need to understand frameworks and how to build them. It drives business development. It helps shape economies. And it, you know, there's lots of good things around framework building. There's so many different types and processes ways of building a frame. But this 3-point, very quick career strategy to go into any kind of career, start any kind of business, I think works quite well. So my number one tip to you, if you want to start a childcare business or any business on any platform on social media, or if you're going to go for growth, is you need to get qualified. Okay, that's number one. It sounds simple, right? But qualification is key. And as a side, not as a side hustle, but I want to grow my expertise. So I'm learning to become a fully qualified counselor. But it takes time. Healthy Secrets, which is a health and fitness brand. The more qualifications I have, the more better content I can push out, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm already a support worker or a qualified support worker, a former teacher, a grand expert in emotional intelligence from my own independent research, because I shape my research around that. That's excellent. And some of the world's biggest companies follow my thought leadership here on LinkedIn, TikTok community. If you're starting a business and you want to go global, get yourself on LinkedIn. I recommend it. But anyway, so that's tip number one. You need to get qualified, and cool for a lot of us because funding is not always available. I'm blessed. I was able to get access to some funding, and that's worked out really well for me, by the way. So my next tip for starting any business, so you're qualified, at least you start your level 1, your level 2, level 3, whatever. Social it. So what does that mean? Put your brand on your phone and post content, right? Some of you got established businesses here on LinkedIn, but those are a bit younger, or even, you want to improve your business, which are most of us anyway. And, I was watching Gary Vee today, and, as he was saying, in 2024, it's not your business is going to die if you're not on social, but we live our lives on our phones. And if you want to sell a product or service, you need to get where customers are. And we're all on our phones. We're going like this, right? We're doing this on our phones, yeah, what you call the doom scrolling. So you need to put yourself on social. So I say a very short key term, social it. So you're qualified, you social it. So you're sure whether it's 1 post a day, 2 posts, 3 posts, start on one platform. That's what I did 5 years ago. I have got a global presence. I'm slowly building it as big and as better as I can. And monetization is coming. It's slowly. I'm in the process of building that. It takes time. But I've got patience. And, if you want to improve your life or your pension pot or improve your mental health, you need to have patience. And that's one attribute I'd always say to anybody building a brand on social media. And my last point, very quick and easy, is apply and try, because I've found studying algorithms for 5 years now, including TikTok, where I've gone viral a lot. I've gone viral a lot on LinkedIn in the old days when the algorithm was slightly stronger for text content. It's a lot more harder now on both platforms, by the way. You just have to keep going. A lot of business owners that struggle to get their B2B or B2C. B2C is in business to customers, trying to get their brand out there, because everyone's competing for your attention to sell products to you, and you have to stand out, but you have to post content and you have to look at the data. Let's keep going. I mean, I'm going live now 3 or 4 times. I went live 3 or 4 times yesterday. I go live in the gym when I'm working out. This is an official podcast. I'm live with you right now. Live is a new thing in 2024, by the way. And I've written an article on this one the other day on LinkedIn. If you're not going live with your business here in 2024, then it's not that you're not going to win, but you're going to struggle, because people buy people, and who I am. So when I start, this is for my top TikTok audience and also for LinkedIn, when I start to build my platform around course development and selling courses, which you can already buy anyway, I've attached them to this video, because TikTok, I'm building a new platform for us creators. So we're going to have better tools. I'm hoping to compete to the likes of LinkedIn Learning at scale, because I know how to design courses and I want to lower the cost of education education. So that's at scale to a global market, because on TikTok, okay, as we know, there's over 1 billion of us. Okay, it's still harder to go viral, but I've gone viral a lot. I've got a lot of data to convince me that I can do this. So I've got optimism, but I need to experiment. So every single I throw up new videos, I experiment with it to see where I can get what I call the algorithm catch. That's very difficult to do. That's where your content and the hashtags all work and lock on together. Now, TikTok are making it more harder for us, but that's just the world of social media. You got. So anyway, I hope tonight's show, short, sharp, and easy show, has been exciting and good for you. In my new location, here in the View Hotel in Eastbourne, fantastic hotel. I do film here a lot, so this is my been filming here for over. Yeah. So anyway, there's lots for you in this show. Do follow me across my social media channels. I'm on most channels, YouTube, X. You can find at Healthy Secrets or under my name, Stephen Farhay. TikTokers, share this video or follow me. Thank you for tuning in, and Facebookers and everybody else. I do apologize again for the lighting. Something went wrong at the last minute, as always. I'm not going to bore you with that story, but I want to say to you, thanks for watching. Keep watching. I'll be live. If you follow me, you'll get notified. I'll try and put as much pre-ad out as possible as I can. I do prefer going random live. I know you like routine, but that's not how social works. You have to jump on what you know sometimes. So anyway, I bid you good night. Good night, LinkedIn and Facebookers and Instagram, X and Twitch, all of you. Thank you for watching.